All right, Thorns fans, it's that time again. We've got another edition of the Thorns Show. I'm Ann Schatz, and joining me a very special guest, Thorn assistant coach Sophie Clough. Sophie, thanks so much for taking the time.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for having me. Looking forward to having a little chat here and sharing a few stories and a few things with the fans. So
Yeah, a little chat. Let's do it. It seems like forever ago, but most recently, you guys coming off that massive road win at North Carolina, and then you finally get word that you pick up those 3 crucial points after Washington. That game was deemed a forfeit. I got to imagine those 2 factors adding up to some really spirited training camp sessions for you guys.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, the 3 points picking up at North Carolina, that's been huge for us. It's always been a target, and it's kind of always been there in everyone's mind whenever we end up facing those guys. So I think it's just been part of the journey for us from day one, especially like this season. And so, yeah, it definitely was a nice little icing on the cake. And then when we come back first day back in training to find out the 3 points, I think it was just a bit of a relief. People haven't got too hung up on it though, and just kind of head down and on to the next one. But yeah, definitely, you're never going to say no to 3 points, no matter how you get them, right?
Boy, especially at this stage of the game, when that shield is up for grabs. You look at Mark Parsons and the staff that he has comprised, including you. Let's give the fans a little idea as to what your specific roles are with the club, your specific duties, how long you've been with the Thorns.
Yeah, so this is my 6th season. I came in March of 2016, which we had a decent year that year when we took home the shield, so that was nice. Yeah. And so my role's kind of just grown since then, and now it's kind of helping Mark, assisting Mark in any way that he needs, and then having more of a focus on the defensive unit, the backline unit, and what we nickname ourselves, that varies depending on the week. You know, they like to think that they're playmakers, but the midfielders think they're the playmakers. So sometimes we just stick with the defensive destroyers. But so helping basically in kind of just all the day-to-day, assisting Mark where he needs on the soccer side of things, helping scout for defensive set pieces, complementing some of the work that Rich does on that side of things, and really kind of having an eye on that backline unit.
All right, we'll talk about that backline unit a little later in the show, but I want to go quickly back to that match against the Courage. As a staff, how critical is it to celebrate that kind of victory, but make sure that the club is in the mode of what's next instead of what just happened?
Yeah, I think, and again, I think that's kind of been the theme all year, and we live very one game at a time, and it's the whole cliche of, you can't live your highs too high and get too low on your lows. But I do think, we said a bit of a special one. It was a big win, and so we definitely enjoyed it in the moment. But I think our structure this year has been quite good. Obviously, set from Mark that those first couple of days when we get back into the training environment, it's kind of let's have a little recap, let's have a little reflection, everything like that. When you don't have so much emotion there, whether it's a win or a loss, but we'll have that reflection and recap, and then we kind of turn the page, put it to bed, and we're on to the next one. So that's what we kind of used the couple of training days last week for, and now it's on to Chicago. So.
You mentioned that those training sessions with the international FIFA window, even though you're missing some key players, I get that, still some really critical opportunities, training sessions, days together that this club can grow from, correct?
Yeah, definitely. And we put a lot of emphasis on the 2 days of kind of just being a little bit of professional development. And so it allowed us, to work in slightly smaller groups and really kind of get down to some nitty-gritty individual skills, doing some video as well as on the field. So yeah, definitely, they definitely weren't wasted days, that's for sure.
All right, so you and I talked on the phone the other day, and I said, there's nothing good. There's not going to be anything tricky. I'm not going to ambush you anything. I completely fibbed because we're going to put you on the hot seat. This is our really fun segment called Know Your Teammate. All right. So in this case, it's going to be know your friend and colleague, Thorns head athletic trainer, Pierre Soubrier. All right. We've got 5 questions about Pierre, all teed up. And let's see how many you get right. They're all about Pierre. You guys are tight. I'm expecting big things from you. Are you ready?
We do spend quite a lot of time together, me and Pierre. So yeah, I hope I get these ones right.
She will get 3 for sure, possibly 4.
Possibly 4.
If she gets 5 out of 5, I buy her a drink.
All right, here we go. What country does Pierre say he is from?
Well, he is a Frenchman, but where he actually says he's from, that can differ on which, meal he decides to cook or anything like that. But he does consider himself a little bit of a connoisseur, in the kitchen. So he likes to vary that. But France.
I'm from France.
Ding, 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 ding. 1 for 1. All right. This one gets kind of tricky. In what country did Pierre grow up?
So I've actually heard many stories about this over time, and so he's shared quite a bit from that time. Actually, I know he wasn't there until he was too old, but Africa.
Ivory Coast.
Look at you, Ivory Coast. Look at you. Look at you paying attention.
I like to say I've got a bit of attention to detail, so I'm glad
Paying attention. 2 for 2. Okay. Where did Pierre, in the United States, where did Pierre go to college?
So that one, the actual school.
If you don't say the name right and you're in the ballpark as you butcher the name, because I will too, we're going to give it to you.
Yeah, that one, you can actually stump me there. It's over on the East Coast, over in Connecticut.
Cool.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, like.
Close enough.
Quinnipiac University.
Okay.
Don't know if she'll know that.
Yeah.
It's a good one, though.
Quinnipiac.
See,
That's what you were trying to say, right?
Totally. Yeah, exactly. I was right there. I had the school logo in my mind and everything.
You stumbled through that one. We're going to give it to you because we think you're swell. Now, let's stay in the college ranks with Pierre playing like a bandit. What position did Pierre play on his college soccer team?
So I don't know if it's specific to his college team, but I know he's played left back. He used to be a left back at one time in his day. But
are you sure that's your answer?
No, it's not. That's not. He has played left back. He's made a couple of appearances in training at left back, but that's not where he played in college.
In college, he played.
Gosh, I'm just saying, he wasn't a left winger. He definitely wasn't a goalkeeper. I know that for a fact.
Oh, she knows that.
She does?
Yeah, I played outside back.
Okay.
Back.
Okay.
Don't know that.
Outside back.
Yes, that's the same thing, left back.
Well, but I wanted you to just nail the outside back. We're going to give you the left. At least you didn't say right. We're going to give it to you. I was just so hoping you'd coast through the outside back. We'll give you left back because that is actually a better attention to detail. That's good.
That's just a little bit of the language barrier there. That's
okay.
That's my
I'm going
English.
to give it to you. All right, you and Pierre, thick as thieves. All right, after games, Pierre has this really annoying habit, according to you. It's kind of a post-game ritual for this guy. What would it be?
Yeah. So he likes his black latex gloves, right? I understand he's got to wear them medically, everything like that.
Okay.
But he goes through multiple pairs in a game, and he'll take them off, and there's all sweat dripping down him, and he just leaves them. Either at the side of the field, in the locker room, anywhere, everywhere. And I'm constantly picking up his black latex gloves.
Picking up my gloves.
Have you nicely asked Pierre to take care of his equipment, his own stuff?
I certainly have. We've had a couple of conversations about it, but I am still picking up Pierre's black latex gloves.
You and I got to think of something very clever to get him to change his mind. I'm going to work on that with you, okay?
I would appreciate that one.
There's got to be a prank or something here that could work in your favor. Let's chew on that a little bit off camera later on, okay?
Yep.
All right.
I'm in.
Sophie, that was pretty darn good. That was pretty darn good. If I'm not mistaken, that's like a 4.5.
I was going to say, do I get the half? I think.
Yeah, I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to give it to you. The quick, that one was a little tough, but you got it.
I had the right aerials there, I could see it. I just, struggled.
Whatever, Soph. Okay, we're going to give it to you. All right, let's keep moving. World class, no more tricky stuff. This is called Extra Time, and this is going to allow fans to just get to know you a little bit better. One of my favorite parts of the show. Give us a little bit of your soccer background, starting with your playing days as a youth in England. I mean, you were roaring through those youth national teams. Help us understand how you got started in the game and how far you went up with the national teams on the youth level.
Yeah, so it seems so long ago now. So I started playing when I was 4. And I actually played on a boys team growing up because in my area there wasn't any girls teams back in the day.
Okay.
And I ended up joining a team by kind of accident. I used to get bored and run around the sports hall when my brother was at his training sessions. And so then in the end they went, do you just want to play and do you want to join in? And so that kind of went from there. As I got a little bit older, I was playing at Stockport County. And from there I kind of ended up getting into the youth ranks with England, U15s, U17s, and then I signed with Leeds United and kind of I was playing in the top league at that time back in England, and from there, I kind of grew on the side with the England national teams and went through the 19s and then the 21s. Then I came over and moved to the States and went to Oregon State and played soccer there. And then unfortunately, I had a little bit of a stint there of multiple injuries in a kind of short period of time and had my fair share of surgeries and figured it was time, maybe that side of the game's not for me anymore. So I had to hang the boots up at a, rather young age, but I wouldn't say I necessarily regretted it really. I really enjoyed the coaching side of things and just kind of grown from there.
Yeah, you got bit by the coaching bug. I love that. The injuries cutting your college career short, but then you gravitate towards coaching. You get some great experience on the collegiate ranks. How on earth did you land with Mark and the Thorns some 6 years ago? Resume passed around, or how did this all work out?
Yeah, so it's funny because a lot of people actually go, "Oh, you're English, Mark's English. You guys must have known one another from back home, right?" And so I had no idea who Mark Parker was, if I'm being honest. And so it was kind of I was over at University of Montana at the time, and I'd always spent a little bit of time kind of over in this area, in Portland area and things. So I knew a few other people, and was just looking into a couple of opportunities and. I guess my resume ended up getting passed across a couple of people's desks, and then I ended up getting connected, and Mark and I set up a few phone calls and kind of really hit off from there, and just things seemed to work out really well. And I came over, had a couple of meetings with Mark and with Gavin and stuff, and it kind of went from there.
How have you changed and evolved as a coach? Your duties with the club have grown and evolved over the years. How have you as a coach followed suit?
Yeah, I think just, I think I've grown in many ways. I think to kind of put a pinpoint on it, I think is sometimes a little hard to do. I would say probably just openness and kind of willingness to kind of collaborate a little bit more, and I guess being a little bit more open to being challenged by players. And I think obviously we've got a fantastic group here in the player pool, and we've got some amazing talent. And so I think I've grown in the sense of making it a bit more of a collaboration with the players, because they've got so much knowledge for us to tap into and us to learn from, as well as coaches. And rather than it kind of being not that I would say I was ever like a dictator as a coach before, but just it being, I'm the one who's supposed to have all the answers. Well, we're not, right? Nobody's got all the answers. And I think we're always constantly growing and evolving. So I think that's one way that it's kind of like I'd grown a lot as a coach in just kind of, being collaborative with the players a bit more and allowing that to challenge me more.
This year's defense, your bunch, has just been, knock on wood, stellar up to this point, and we're heading down the stretch. Some 10, 11 clean sheets during the regular season up to this point. As we tape this interview, you haven't given up more than 9 or 10 goals as a unit. What is it about this group, not just tactically and technically, but some of the intangibles that are so necessary for this group, whether they're starters or plug and play reserves? What is it about these guys?
I think they're just all special people, and I know that's always like a bit of a cliche thing to say. They're special people, which has allowed them to grow so much and have vulnerability in sessions. I feel this year we've managed to get in a lot more positional work than we've kind of ever done, just with how the training schedule's gone. And I think their individual openness and vulnerability, in whether that's in video meetings or on the field, they're okay to fail. They're willing to fail. And I say that in the best way possible, that it's taking risks. They'll take more risks on the ball now, because of the weighing up of just risk versus reward. So I think the fact that they're special people that have bought into just wanting to improve in the fine details, and they want it so badly for each other that willingness to fail is embraced amongst the group, amongst the unit. It's kind of, I'm okay failing because I know that this next one, she's got my back and we're going to be good, and I'll get the next one. So,
it's hard to believe that we're down to the final 6 games of the season as we look ahead. And I know you're into the match at a time, so let's talk about it. On the road against a Chicago club, a team that's going to be totally different than when you faced them earlier in this season with great success. They're fighting for a playoff spot. I'm expecting one heck of a match. How about you?
Yeah, no, I think, as you said it, last 6 games of the season, once you get into this kind of time in the year, everybody's a little bit different. Everybody, plays a little bit different. Everybody's a bit more connected. Everybody's, they're usually a bit more dangerous in every aspect of the game. So, I think it's one. The girls are definitely up for it. Obviously, Chicago, we've had our ups and downs at Chicago in previous years and things like that. And it's definitely, nobody's looking back to that first game of the season kind of going, oh, it's going to be like that. Like, I don't think anybody's even thought about that. It's keep driving on.
Mark talks about culture a lot, the process, the importance of the journey. And one of my favorite quotes of his, that success leaves clues in terms of who we are, how we are. What's he talking about when he says that stuff?
Yeah, I think, and just on the culture part, like, I think we've got a fantastic team culture this year, and it's, a lot of credit to Mark and all the players for just buying into things. But I think it's just in terms of it, like it's the little things, it's the day-to-day things.
Yeah.
It is the work that players are putting in, as you mentioned just earlier on, in the 2 days when we've got 6-7 players out of town on international duty, and that, I think for the others, it's the day-to-day, it's putting in that hard work, taking care of all those little things that then they're going to pay off in the long run. And I think that's why it has been so game to game this year, and everybody's just kind of so bought in and so just right on to the next one, and just embracing the challenge each week and each day. So just taking care of the little details, really, and also taking care of one another. Like, I think that's been a big thing this year. Just, yes, you've got to take care of yourself and be the best you, but can you be the best teammate too? So just all those little things adding up to kind of the success and helping that next one out, who's maybe a rookie coming through the ranks, or they're next in line to maybe take your spot, but there's been a care and desire to want them to improve too. So
I love your quote that this is the business side of the season now with these last remaining games. What do you mean by that?
I mean, you know, you could look at it and go, hey, we're sat at the top of the league. It's great. Everything's all taken care of. It's not. There's still a lot to play for. You know, you want to get that top spot. You want to get a bye in the quarterfinals and things like that. And so it's kind of head down and yeah, you know, yes, we've been living by it's game to game, but it's, yeah, head down. Everybody's on board. There's just no time to waver. There's no time to kind of veer off the plan and things like that. So
sounds good. Sounds like the business side of things. And thank you, Sophie, for doing some business with us today. It was really lovely having you on the show. Thank you for taking the time.
Yeah, thank you. It's been good chatting with you. So really enjoyed it. So thank you.